Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder. Now today I'm still using the same team I brought to yesterday's episode, which is a modified version of the team I've been using for a while now, with Clefable over Amoongus. And like I said, I will be revealing my team analysis this weekend for this team, the prior version with Amoongus. So it should be fun, and keep your eyes open for that. In addition, the Thunderous analysis should go up sometime between today and tomorrow, so get excited. And yeah, now that first semester senior year is over, I'm hoping I can get more content out on a consistent rate other than just Road to Rank battles. But yeah, we're going to continue to pick up where we left off yesterday, starting with a 2-0 record. And you guys gave me really good feedback yesterday. I feel like half the people said they wanted to see all the battles, half the other people said they didn't want to, as we find Cody with the rating of 1519 from Ohio. So I think I decided that I'm going to battle a bit off screen, but the battles I do off screen I'm probably actually going to end up streaming instead. So you're going to want to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/CybertronVGC. That way I can, keep you guys entertained for those that want to see all the battles, and for those that want to just see better quality battles, I'll keep it onto this channel with Road to Ranked. So that's the decision I've come to, and like I said, I should be streaming more nowadays, so if you don't follow me on Twitch, definitely give me a follow there. But Cody here's got a pretty solid team, definitely a threatening team, of Zapdos, Bisharp, Terrakion, Talonflame, Kangaskhan, and Sylveon. So obviously just very offensive, 3 physical type attackers, 3 of the most powerful ones in Kangaskhan, Terrakion, Bisharp, Talonflame, potential Tailwind user, Zapdos also a potential Tailwind user, and Sylveon, just a pretty standard. So all Pokemon you've probably seen already in VGC 15, but definitely a very threatening team. I do like Gengar a lot in this matchup because I can burn the physical type attackers, which is really nice. I can also just Icy Wind things. I can hit the Sylveon for damage, but unfortunately my Gengar's not carrying Protect, so that always makes leading against Kangaskhan somewhat harder. And I don't want to just carelessly lead Salamence into my opponent's team because, of course, there's the Bisharp you see there. So I'm going to have to do some thinking about what I want to bring here. I do like Gengar a lot as a lead, like I said. Next to it, I'm very tempted to go with, let's see. The things that really threaten Gengar, I'd say, are really, I guess, Kangaskhan, Talonflame. So Hydreigon, just to get damage output right from the start, is pretty solid, I think. Though should my opponent lead with Kangaskhan, Sylveon, I might be in some trouble, so I'm not sure if that's a great idea. In retrospect, Terrakion's actually really good against my opponent's entire team too, because it can one-hit KO Bisharp, Kangaskhan, and the Talonflame. It can do a lot of damage with against Zapdos. So I'm gonna have Terrakion, since I can protect with it as well. Definitely gonna have Mence in the back, and for the last one, it's between Hydreigon and Bisharp. So I ended up going with Hydreigon, which I'm not sure is the right call because my opponent has the Sylveon. So I'm going to want to try to knock out the Sylveon as quickly as possible for the rest of my team to win. Sludge Bomb and Rock Slide in combination should be able to take it out right away, so not too worried, but still, let's see what my opponent leads with here. As Cody does go with the Kangaskhan and Sylveon as I thought he might have. So I'm going to go with Gengar and Terrakion. Now this isn't a bad matchup, but it also isn't actually really good for me because you can actually just fake out Gengar and Hyper Voice, and I don't have really any good switch-ins to Hyper Voice, which is actually pretty bad. So actually no, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna Sludge Bomb Sylveon, and I'm just gonna protect with Kangaskhan. Should he choose to not Mega Evolve, fake out Gengar and Hyper Voice, that way I don't lose Terrakion. The following turn I can Sludge Bomb and Rock Slide. Alternatively, if he decides to try to KO the Gengar, then Salamence can come in and just freely double edge Sylveon for the KO. But I really don't want to switch into the Dragon types I've got in the back. And this is kind of one of the downfalls of not bringing in the Bisharp, but Bisharp obviously has a pretty terrible matchup against Kangaskhan, which can just low kick or Drain Punch it for KOs. But Kangaskhan's actually going to Mega Evolve, which is interesting. So Terrakion's going to get the Protect off here, but what did Kangaskhan go for? Power Up Punch, Sucker Punch? Oh, it went for the Protect as well. That's actually as ideal of a turn as I'll get. And no Protect from the Sylveon either. That plays out perfectly, as I do a whole lot of damage there, and get the Poison too. Really not necessary. Oh, as we see a Psyshot coming out as well. Don't really know what the... I guess, the Protect there makes sense to prevent a Will-O-Wisp against the... against the Kangaskhan. Oh, as we see Life Orb coming out from Sylveon as well. So, the Poison not really mattering since it would have been in Rock Slide KO range anyway. I'm gonna Will-O-Wisp here and Rock Slide because I don't want Gengar to faint to a Sucker Punch. Just because Gengar does really well against my opponent's entire team and can potentially burn Bisharp as well. But I feel really good about that first turn. I basically got as good of a result as I could have asked for. I was fully expecting to actually not get any damage off, so, you know, when things go that way, it's a lot better. Gengar here does get the Will-O-Wisp off. That's going to significantly reduce Kangaskhan's attack, as Rock Slide does fortunately connect with both of my opponent's Pokemon, so that's huge. Burning Kangaskhan is always obviously fantastic. You know, one time it doesn't help is if they run Facade, but that's not even going to be doing much right now. As we see the Drain Punch come out against my Terrakion. And since because it is burned, it's not going to deal that much damage, but that's definitely a more interesting move. You know, Drain Punch is one of the newer techs that Kangaskhan gets access to in VGC 2015 with move tutors. If you played 14 at all, you'll know that it was basically Power Up Punch was the only viable fighting move next to Hammer Arm. Those two are really the two used. But now you get access to Low Kick, Drain Punch, as you see here as well. So, interesting choice there. Low Kick tends to hit some of the harder, bigger threats for harder damage. But then, of course, with Drain Punch, you can heal consecutively as Talonflame comes in for my opponent here. So, I definitely feel a lot better about my position now. I think I'm just going to Sludge Bomb the Talonflame and protect with Terrakion. If he Brave Birds Gengar, that's fine by me because I can just switch in Salamence, and then Salamence gets the Intimidate off against both of my opponent's physical type attackers. And I don't want to lose both of my Pokemon on the same turn here, so I'm just going to play it a bit safer. And I don't want to switch in Salamence because you always open yourself up to crits here. So I'm perfectly fine losing Gengar at this rate because Gengar did its job and took care of the Pokemon I really needed to take care of, which was Sylveon. I guess the one bad thing here would be Talonflame setting up Tailwind. Of course, when you play more defensively against Talonflame, you know, trying to get momentum back into your favor, that does open up the possibility of Tailwind going up, but we'll see. So Terrakion here is going to protect as Talonflame goes for the Brave Bird into Terrakion. Yeah, that actually, yeah, this is just going out perfectly, as Sludge Bomb does so much damage there to the Talonflame, and my opponent actually doubled up into the Terrakion there, so really ideal turn for me there. Here I'm going to go for another Sludge Bomb onto Talonflame. Let's see. I think I'm going to switch out to Mence, yeah. Because he's probably going to go for the Brave Bird target onto Terrakion again. Though he might have just Brave Birded Gengar and Drain Punched the Salamence. But honestly, I'm fine. I feel like I'm in such a good position right now. Especially because Kangaskhan is burned and it's really not doing very much. And it doesn't have Power Up Punch, so it can't really increase its attack. But we're going to see the Talonflame go for a Brave Bird once again, targeting Salamence. Okay. Wow, that did a lot of damage. I'm guessing that's Choice Banded. Oh, and the Sucker Punch comes out too. Nice. So that was a lot of damage against the Mence. And I mean, there wasn't too much I could have done there, I guess, but at the same time, I don't know. I definitely gave a small window of opportunity for my opponent to at least try to get back into this game, but now I'm just going to bring in Hydreigon. And that Talonflame's actually going to KO itself from recoil damage, so I'm, you know, fine with how this game has played out so far. I'm going to Draco the Kangaskhan, and I think I'm going to protect here with Mence. Or I can Mega Evolve. Let's see what my opponent had. What in the back? He had Zapdos in the back, which Terrakion beats. Bisharp in the back, which Terrakion beats. And what was the last one? It's Kangaskhan, Zapdos, Bisharp, Talonflame, Sylveon, and man, I'm really blanking out right now on the last one. Regardless, though, I think it'll be fine. So let's see. Talonflame. Let's see, I'm gonna Draco. Yeah, I'll Draco Kang. And I'll just Mega Evolve and Dragon Dance, actually. I think Salamence, after it gets the defense boost from the Mega Evolution, it'll be able to take a Brave Bird, so that Talonflame's going to knock itself out. And Draco Meteor should knock out Kangaskhan. So then, you know, worst case scenario, I knock out Kangaskhan with Draco, he knocks out my Talonflame with Brave Bird, then it's a 2-on-1 with Terrakion and Scarf Hydreigon, which I should easily be able to win. So, I'm not really worried here, and Dragon Dance does prevent any Sucker Punch shenanigans, as Kangaskhan actually goes for a Protect, so good play there. Let's see what Talonflame goes for. Yeah, but it does go for the Brave Bird, obviously Choice Banded. Would guess targeting Salamence, but oh, it targets Hydreigon, actually. Okay. So it's going to knock itself out there, and that's going to give my Salamence a free +1, which I am fine with by all means. So Draco's going to go into the Protect there, but Salamence gets the Dragon Dance up. And now it's going to be effectively able to KO anything really my opponent's got in the back. So let's see. I'm expecting to see Bisharp. But I don't really mind whatever it is, like Terrakion ends up beating everything my opponent's got in the back. And it is Bisharp, so that does come out. So I'm just going to go for Draco onto Kang and Earthquake since Terrakion ends up winning the game anyway. And there's no way Bisharp can knock out Hydreigon. You know, my opponent's basically, he has to KO one Pokemon this turn. Or actually prevent any damage from going off. Because if either of my Pokemon get an attack off, it's game over. Because Terrakion beats either Bisharp or Kangaskhan one-on-one. So, tough position for my opponent to be in. Sucker Punch does come out from Kang, but it's at -1 and Burn against Mence, which is so defensively bulky. Does like 19 damage there. As no Protect coming out from that Bisharp, nor a Sucker Punch, so probably went for an Iron Head / knockoff. That's going to allow me to get this Earthquake off. Does a ton of damage to both, as Bisharp hangs on with the Sash, so not Life Orb Bisharp, which I've been using, as I actually missed the Draco there, but Iron Head does come out against Hydreigon. It does knock it out. So, it's Kangaskhan's going to faint from Burn, and then obviously Salamence and Terrakion beat Bisharp. So, 2-0, going to be a 2-0 win, but interesting battle for sure. I think the Protect on Kangaskhan caught me off guard, but it's an interesting option. You know, we see Fake Out and Protect often used interchangeably. You know, it's a pretty good question which one you'd rather use. And I think in best of threes, Protect is kind of nicer because it gives you more options. But I don't know. I think in best of one, at least at this point in the format, I think Fake Out actually helps a lot against Gengars, which don't carry Protect. So, you know, had my opponent had Scrappy Fake Out there, actually could have given me a lot of trouble. But because he had just the normal Protect instead, that helped me out a lot. And Drain Punch was definitely more interesting, since we don't see that on Kangaskhan nearly as much as Low Kick or Power Up Punch. But I'm going to take a 2-0 win against Cody here. Definitely an intense game, and one of the more standard teams for, you know, the rating still is relatively low, but we'll be trying to climb our way back up. And like I said, I will be streaming more. I'll be doing the battles at between maybe 1500 to 1650s on stream, so that way I can get more quality matches in the future. But 3-0 to start off this season with a rating of 1544. So we're gonna jump into our 4th match of the season, looking for things. And yeah, not much more to say. Like I said, I do have a lot of content coming out soon. I'm about to make an announcement video. Still gotta wait a couple of days to finalize some things, but I have a lot of new video series I'm planning on starting soon, rolling out one at a time. And like I said, it is fan interactive, so I'm really excited to introduce it to you guys, and it should be really exciting. So keep your eyes open for that. You know, I've been doing a lot of these Road to Rank battles. Obviously, these post daily, but there's so much more VGC content I want to do and I have ideas for. It's really just about finding the time and setting the time to do it, because, you know, there's just so much I want to do, but it does take a lot of effort. So Mercer here with the rating of 1541 from New York is going to be our second opponent of the day. Also a relatively standard team here in terms of Pokemon. We actually share 2 of the same with Gengar and Terrakion. Another Kangaskhan matchup here, but he's got a Rotom Wash, Talonflame, Garchomp, Terrakion, Gengar. So, also a really interesting match, especially because of the Gengar-Terrakion mirror match, which should make things a bit more interesting. Clefable is really good against my opponent's team, other than the Gengar. So if I can knock out Gengar, Clefable really has a great time. I'm going to lead with Hydreigon, because Hydreigon outspeeds my opponent's entire team, as long as, you know, Terrakion or Garchomp isn't scarfed, but I feel like it's not. Either way, Hydreigon gives me a lot of options right from the start, so I'm going to lead with that. I'm actually very tempted to go with Terrakion next to it, because I am Lumburied, so Gengar can't just, you know, carelessly Will-O-Wisp me. Though I kind of want to go with my own Gengar as well, just so I can potentially burn his Kangaskhan right from the start. You know, I'm going to go with Gengar because I can also Icy Wind anything, so that's a pretty safe lead option here for me. In the back, definitely want Salamence. I think Salamence and Terrakion's the way to go here. Just full offense. It's kind of a battle of the speedier Pokemon in the format. Bisharp is tempting, but at the same time, I feel like there's not much of a reason to bring it over the other 2 Pokemon, because, you know, normally you want Bisharp to get those Sucker Punches off, but the thing is Terrakion and Salamence already outspeed the majority of my opponent's team anyway, so I feel pretty confident going with these 4, and we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, this is interesting because you see some of the fastest Pokemon in VGC 15 that are common. You know, most of the times, you know, the faster Pokemon dominate the format. It's, you know, those that can get the good mix between bulk and offense. We see Kangaskhan and Talonflame coming out from my opponent here against my Hydreigon Gengar. So, not a terrible lead matchup, but also not the best. Just because those are really threatening in terms of offense right from the beginning. I think I'm just going to go for the Draco right away into Talonflame. Talonflame's definitely a bigger threat than the Kangaskhan, which both Salamence and Terrakion deal with pretty well. And I'm just going to Will-O-Wisp the Kang. If Kangaskhan decides to not Mega Evolve and fake out Gengar, then I can just knock out Talonflame with the Draco. And if he chooses to fake out Hydreigon, then I get to burn the Kangaskhan. And we are going to see the Kangaskhan Mega Evolve here, so it is not going for the fake out onto Gengar. And if it goes for a Sucker Punch, obviously that's going to fail, but probably not going for the Sucker Punch. Fake Out does go onto the Hydreigon, so good play there for my opponent. Does a lot of damage, actually, 60. Oh, as we see the Tailwind come out from Talonflame, very nice. That's going to obviously increase its speed for the next couple of turns, as Gengar hopefully hits this Will-O-Wisp. Oh, and it misses. That's definitely unfortunate. I'm going to switch into Mence here to take a potential fighting type attack from that Kangaskhan and go for the Sludge Bomb onto Talonflame because I want Talonflame knocked out here. So yeah, maybe leading Terrakion against my opponent would have been a better idea because obviously Terrakion does so much better against those two. So I definitely didn't have the best lead matchup, and missing the Will-O-Wisp there was really, really bad. As Talonflame does go for the Brave Bird, presumably targeting Gengar, but let's see. Yep. Does target Gengar, brings me down to 23 HP. As it does have the Life Orb, so I think Sludge Bomb here might be able to KO it. It depends. Oh, Power Up Punch comes out from Kangaskhan as well. So that's why I'm really irked that I missed the Will-O-Wisp earlier on, because obviously that would have just completely reduced his attack, and that's what I really need against a Tailwind team like my opponent. So pretty upset about that for sure. But you know, Will-O-Wisp accuracy is not exactly the highest. Sludge Bomb here, oh, doesn't even KO the Talonflame, which is a really bad. So definitely not a good start to this match, that's for sure. We're probably going to see another Brave Bird go onto the Gengar, and Kangaskhan going for an attack like Return onto the Salamence slot. And I do have 2 more turns of Tailwind to burn, so I'm going to protect with Mence here. And I think I've got to just sack Gengar here, unfortunately. But Talonflame's going to KO itself from recoil damage, which I'm perfectly fine with. So this is a difficult game to definitely try to combat. Oh, we see the Sucker Punch go out, probably targeting the the Salamence there. So maybe I could have Dragon Dance there instead, but I was really not willing to risk it at this rate. He does target my Gengar there with the Brave Bird. That's going to knock itself out from the recoil damage. So 3-3 now, but Kangaskhan's obviously at +1, which is a huge, huge issue right now for me. But I'm going to be able to bring in Terrakion, which is always nice. Let's see what my opponent switches in, though. Now, unfortunately, I think I'm going to lose another Pokemon this turn, as Gengar is my opponent's next one. Which I'm actually not... I'm pretty happy to see Gengar, because like I said, I do have the Lumberry, so if it tries to Will-O-Wisp me, it's not going to be able to actually get anything off. Now, I'm not sure why my opponent went for Return there with Kangaskhan instead of... or went for Sucker Punch instead of Return. Let's see. Now, this is a difficult position to be in. I can try to go for the double protect with Salamence, but I think that's a bad play. I'd rather just make the safer play, which is switch out to Hydreigon. But the question is, who would I rather have right now, Salamence or Hydreigon in the match? And honestly, I'm not sure. He also might, I don't know, this Terrakion is really good right now against my opponent, so actually I decided I'm going to Mega Evolve and Double Edge the Kangaskhan, and I'm gonna go for the Rock Slide here. The reason behind this is because then Hydreigon comes in and then it can outspeed the Gengar, Dark Pulse in close combat, and then at least I can bring the game 2-1 into my favor. But like I said, I am playing from behind, especially after that early Will-O-Wisp miss. As Kangaskhan goes for the Power Up Punch onto Terrakion, this might be a huge error on my opponent's end. And I'm glad I did not switch out the... Oh, but we might just see an Icy Wind come out from that Gengar, which in retrospect would make more sense. Wow! Dazzling Gleam, nice. Very rare move on Gengar's in VGC, but definitely very helpful for my opponent there. I do get the Double Edge against Kang, but it doesn't knock it out, which is not good here for me. Tailwind peters out, but assuming that's Sash Gengar, this is actually going to be game. I should have protected there with my Terrakion. And just attack there with, yeah, that was definitely a misplay on my end, but I really wasn't anticipating Dazzling Gleam coming out from Gengar. Regardless, though, I think, you know, even if my opponent has Icy Wind there, I would have been done for. I don't even know what I can do now. I'm going to I mean, all my opponent has to do here is Sucker Punch Salamence and Dazzling Gleam Hydreigon, so I might have to hope for a flinch onto the Gengar. So I'm gonna Dragon Dance here and Dark Pulse the Gengar, assuming he's gonna go for the Sucker Punch, which he does go for, so that's at least good. So if I could get a flinch here. Oh wow, it's not it's Focus Sash Gengar, so suddenly this game is still winnable. So that was not the win condition I was playing for, but you know, hey, I'm not gonna complain, that works out equally as well. But it all comes down to what my opponent's last Pokemon is, basically. Salamence, however, is the fastest Pokemon on the field now, but Kangaskhan is at +3. So let's see what comes in. This is really, really intense. Dazzling Gleam Gengar though, man, that's a surprise for sure. Very good move though. Oh, it's Terrakion is the last one. So, oh, I'm guessing Terrakion has the Sash. Now this is interesting. Because my opponent can just Sucker Punch Salamence and Close Combat Hydreigon for the KO. But yeah, actually, let me see. Is there any reason for my opponent not to Sucker Punch Salamence here? I'm guessing that Terrakion is Sash, and if it is, I think it's over. There's really not much I can do here, because Salamence's slot is definitely... If I were my opponent, I'd just, yeah, Sucker Punch Mens and Close Combat Hydreigon, so... I'm just gonna Dark Pulse the King. Unfortunate, but I'm guessing Terrakion is Sash, so I think my opponent's gonna end up winning this game by 1 HP. Sucker Punch. Yep, those go off there, so at least I pick up the KO there against Kangaskhan, so it's basically going to come down to whether Terrakion is Sash, but, you know, when you see Terrakion and Gengar on the same team, you probably are assuming that one of them has the Focus Sash, so Sacred Sword comes out here, and it does knock out the Hydreigon, so 1-1 now. This Mence will be able to... Gotta go for the Earthquake here, because, yeah, at +1 it should be able to bring it down to its HP regardless, as Terrakion actually goes for a Protect. So... really wondering right now what item it's carrying, but moment of truth, let's find out. So Salamence gets this Earthquake off, and of course, because it's single target, gonna do full damage. It's not Sash Terrakion! Wow! Wow. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I end up winning this game very close, 1-0. That was a fantastic game though. Wow. You know, wasn't much hacks. Obviously, I missed the Will-O-Wisp against Kangaskhan, which actually really hurt me from the beginning because that Kangaskhan became such an offensive threat. So I thought it was over because I was assuming at least Gengar or Terrakion had Sash, but it didn't. And, you know, that Dragon Dance with the Salamence ended up being absolutely crucial because it ended up allowing me to outspeed my opponent's Gengar and Terrakion, and it gave me the +1 attack boost, which allowed me to Earthquake safely without taking any recoil damage. So, what a crazy game. Obviously very happy to see that and end up winning a game that I thought I should have lost maybe earlier on, but that's always, you know, the fun of VGC. You should never give up because in the end, you know, it's never over until the very last turn when someone actually is declared the winner. So really great episode today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was really down to the wire. As always, leave a like if you did, and stay tuned for all the upcoming videos I have planned. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, peace.